Did you know that decluttering your space has the power to change your brain? You're going to want to listen to this episode as Fallon Jordan goes into the details of this. Fallon brings years and years of experience working with Amen clinics and taking all of that knowledge and experience into creating this system that she has for how to improve your brain health through decluttering. I look forward to hearing from you in the comments below what your takeaways are from today, because there are many that she drops. Talk to you soon.
HighG is a 501c3 nonprofit organization building community by providing education and counseling about physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. We encourage all of our listeners to find their own path to what holistic wellness means to you.
So I worked for Amen Clinics as a clinician, so doing intakes, aftercare, and coaching with patients, and really focusing on the full bio, psychosocial, spiritual treatment plans that were put together by their physician. Loved it, but after 7 years, I was like kind of burnt out and wanted to do something different. So I moved over to Amen University, and I've been training our therapists, coaches, physicians, implementing the Amen Clinics method into their practice. So really just thinking about the brain is a very important organ that we need to, if we can't look at it, do everything we possibly can to measure biomarkers to make sure that they're getting everything that they need versus just like immediately throwing medications at an organ that the doctor is not looking at. And then over the last 6 months, I've actually morphed into overseeing all of Amen University. And so that's been super exciting and just kind of helping improve the online courses that we offer. And then we also do have Amen University Max, which is a set membership fee for access to all of our non-professional courses, and then access to a community board, which I monitor. So I'm just super grateful. It's been a really fun ride. And I've done a lot of my own work. Ryan and I are talking about, like, I love IFS. I've done a lot of that, a lot of energy work, trauma work, you name it, pretty much. And my passion has always been just helping people live their best life. I'm not sure if you guys are into Carol Loomis archetypes, but I'm a networker and I'm a hedonist. And so if I continue to blend this world of empowering people to live their best lives through everything that I know through brain health, with everything that I know about the people that you spend the most time with and your home environment and your spiritual relationship to yourself, God, and others, that's really what it's all about. It's just kind of blending all of that together. So I put together a little presentation. It's really long, and I'm actually about to release it to y'all today, but then on all my social media platforms for free. It's a step-by-step guide of how to declutter your home to improve your brain. So we definitely won't get through probably even half of it, but just like feel free to use it, share it wherever you want. I am so excited to share it with you guys. And share screen. Here we go. Oh, I don't want that one. I want this one. Sorry, I had it pulled up in 2 places just to be extra safe because I like to make sure I'm good to go. This is the first time I'm presenting it, so this is like so exciting. But the goal would, you could have this instead of having a Marie Kondo book and a HighG book and a Feng Shui book and a decluttering book and a self-improvement book. Wanted to kind of have it all there. These are my credentials, my Instagram, my email. So this is the background. And everything that's going to be in this course is about 70 something slides. But just helping people to understand like why A, you want to do this, and then B, like if you wanted to invest with more hand-holding, why that would be important. So we're going to talk about the cost of declutter and the value of decluttering, messy house, messy head, which I'm sure y'all know, like ADHD, PTSD, and how that overlaps. HighG and Feng Shui, which is like super close to my heart. And the decluttering prep so that people kind of know what they're getting into if they don't want to continue looking at the slides because they know they get overwhelmed. And then a step-by-step guide of how to declutter. tips for falling back in love with your home, and then resolutions for common challenges, which includes when things pop up, I need referrals. I had someone I worked with, crazy panic attack trigger from decluttering her pens, because there were pens all over her like 10,000 square foot house. And I found out it was because of her narcissistic ex-husband. If he had something to say and she didn't immediately write it down, like he would hit her. So I had to refer her to EMDR. So thinking about this in the big picture, and I post about this stuff on my Facebook, Instagram all the time. So please feel free to check that out. But storage units are $1 billion industry. We're literally paying that much money to just put stuff away that we're not taking advantage of and using and loving, when someone else might want to use it, whether it's a company that's going to recycle it or a family that needs a couch. And some facts and figures, 50 to 80% of what we keep, we never use. So that's why a lot of people go through this process and like, well, maybe I'll need this, maybe I'll use it. And it's like, no. And there's more insight about that in a little bit. Getting rid of clutter eliminates 40% of housework in the average home, which is huge. Time is money. And if we can save you time, it's going to save you money. Average American burns 55 minutes a day trying to find things, which is kind of crazy. And 50% of homeowners rate the garage as the most disorganized place, because that's where people tend to put things. And when we get to why I declutter by category, not space, this is kind of why. It's because 50% for the most part is there. And as y'all know, as healers, what clutter can really cost you stress. There's so many studies about it increasing insulin and cortisol, lower ability to fight infections, which now more than ever with COVID, like being obese is a huge risk factor. So it's just kind of makes sense that we're talking about this now. And poor time management, which can lead to conflict. I think of your kids that want to have play dates and like they can't because they're embarrassed of their house. And that makes me really sad. My parents were like OCD control freaks, so I kind of inherited some of that, but I've like tried to make it in a fun way that's helpful. And we'll talk about what I believe in and what this system is about versus minimalism, which is very different. Just a lot of medical issues can be related to clutter. And the big one, divorce, debt, and poor spending is something that people don't think about. And a lot of that overlaps with ADHD and brain injuries, which I definitely talk about a lot on my social media channels. So this is just one of my favorite slides to kind of let you like realize it. Cause I know there's some people that are like, get rid of all of your stuff, just have a bare house. And it's like, no, like we spend most of our time at home. Like we want to love our home. We want to love everyone in it. We want to love everything in it. We want to take care of it. We want to honor it. We want to cherish it. And that minimalism to me just kind of doesn't strike me that way. It's really just like, don't depend on anything or anybody. And I'm like, no. So have this little description, which is going to kind of bring us into the HighG stuff in a little bit. And just some really good reasons to declutter, boosting resiliency and self-esteem for sure, time management, definitely promoting positive thoughts and feelings, which we're going to get into, more time to play, create, and have fun. The concept of, the ego kind of starting to develop bigger at age 7 in our subconscious mind before then, all you do is play and create and have fun. And we never want to lose that part of ourselves. And if we're living in a space that's not promoting that, we're not going to experience it. And for me, like, I just turned 36 and I'm like, I'm going to continue to play, create, and have fun for the rest of my life. Like that's never going to go away. And then having more intimacy in your relationships, we'll get to some of the more specific reasons why this helps, but I mean, your bedroom is for sex, sleeping, and cuddling and reading only. There shouldn't be a TV. There should be nothing else to distract you. And if you're not trying to have an orgasm with your husband and because you're thinking about the laundry, you know what I mean? Be nice to have a system set up that like you're never forgetting to do your laundry, basically. And then just having a healthier attachment to your objects, like everything that you love. Like my desk right now is like all of like my favorite, most cherished items that I always have in my field of vision when I'm on my computer working. So this is a big one. I love this slide. Out of sight, out of mind, in your sight, in your mind. what's in your visual field and how is it impacting you, noting that about 90% of everything that we think, feel, and do is subconscious. And just using that to our advantage. You have tens of thousands of thoughts every day triggered by the subconscious mind. And yeah, let's use this to our advantage. So this is really exciting. Just kind of the step-by-step of like how the brain is involved. So as we've evolved as humans, the eye cerebellum connection is the strongest thing in the brain. 50% of our brain's neurons are actually in the cerebellum. And with sensory input, 70% of that is visual. So you think of, I'm not good at math, but basically your eyes have a lot to do with how you feel and think and behave because it's linked to other memories. And again, let's use that to our advantage and have only happy memories. So when you're going through your house or just your daily life, even right now, like in the corner of my eye, I can see, someone walking their dog, which like makes me happy. So you're seeing, walking by, smelling, or touching an object. Your brain is going to kind of figure out what's being used. Is it just visual? Is there some smell? Is there some touch? Is there taste? Especially with candles, people don't realize how big of a deal that can be. It can actually trigger trauma to have a bad scent. And so your brain's going to immediately process that through the subconscious and then decide, do I need to fight, flight, or freeze because I am experiencing a trauma? Or is this something that's promoting joy and actually making me feel really happy, which is going to then help me have a happier thought? And best, I don't need to share this with you guys. You guys know how important these things are. So I think it's kind of cool when you can actually do your affirmations in your home and like really truly believe it, because you're actually surrounding yourself with these positive feelings of, I am worthy of this home. I am worthy of these beautiful people in it. I am worthy of these beautiful things in it. They make me feel loved, safe, supported. They help me be more forgiving and not resentful. And they help me feel more kind to myself and other people versus the other stuff. And then with clutter, we definitely talk about the physical. So just having too much stuff, crowded closets and drawers. But the mental clutter is a huge part of this too. Definitely where the brain health stuff comes in handy. But if you're having negative thoughts, if you're having a racing mind, if you're having low motivation, that's still clutter in your mind. I mean, that's still a lot of activity that, do you want to be mindful of what's happening in your life, or is your mind full of not so good things that aren't serving your highest good? And then spiritually, I mean, underappreciated items, people like go dig through something and they find their favorite picture of them and like their family when they were little. And they're like, oh my God, this is my favorite picture. I'm like, let's put it where you can see it every day, like easily. Let's put it next to your door if we need to. Just using the things that you have to promote a sense of belonging and higher trust and purpose. And then definitely just intuition for me is a huge thing. Our brains and bodies are always trying to talk to us and help us make better decisions based on our intuition. And if you have too much stuff and too much negative stuff surrounding you, you're not going to be able to listen when you get that yes, no. And then definitely just physically a lack of space to connect with God. Like my desk is also one of my altars in my home. So it's like a really sacred space. And it's just really, really important to me. And then emotional clutter. So negative feelings, maybe not knowing why, because again, it's a subconscious issue. Trouble with intimacy, which is also a huge issue with just stuff that you feel like you have to do, stuff surrounding you. And then low ability to feel playful and creative. So if you don't know much about HighG, I'm a huge fan. I think I follow every single hashtag about it on Instagram. But it's just this concept of feeling really cozy and comfortable. In the interior design, they focus a lot on natural hardwoods, which I tend to like, but it's also just about textures of things. So you always have visible blankets and pillows that are very comfortable so that like when people come over, it's always feeling like you can sit there safely. A lot of candles. Traditionally, like you have dinner once a week with your friends and like you drink wine and you laugh and you eat cake and you're just like enjoying life. It's really what it's about. And you're not worrying about your house because your house is already set in a way that's meant for comfort and welcoming friends. And this lifestyle promotes a lot of happy things. That's why they have the highest gross domestic product of happiness in those countries that use this method. Because it's about comfort, physical and emotional, spending time with people that you love, enjoying simple pleasures like a tea and a candle, and a bath maybe, peacefulness, and then better boundaries. I mean, some people don't realize like the power of words with boundaries, obviously the boundary of your home, which is huge in HighG, but also just in your relationships, right? It's like you're having a party and someone found out that wants to come that like you don't like, you're like, sorry, like you're not invited. And not feeling guilty about it. And this is just a cute little picture of kind of what HighG means. And I was telling Ryan, I love plaid, and that's one of the things in here. Feng Shui. So I'm not into the traditional rules. I follow Tao of Dana on Instagram, who's like super amazing and like super expensive, and really agree on what she says, which is really just about trusting the energy and the energy transfer of things to you. If I had a fresh plant and water next to my door, like traditional Feng Shui talks about, like my animals would knock it over. It would ruin my wood floors. It would like stress me out. It's just not going to happen. And my house is basically designed to make them happy. So just the spacing of items is huge. Was talking to someone last week. Their friend is into Feng Shui, and she moved one piece of furniture in their home. And he said it completely changed the entire energy of their house because she saw things that you don't see when you see it every day. So really just what feels good. And so the shape of items, like for me, like oval things like make me like cringe. Do I know why? I have no freaking idea, but like, I just don't like oval. I like rectangles. And so like, I have a lot of rectangles in my house. And then just the thickness of things. Like I don't like big bulky desks. Like my desk is actually really small. Paying attention to the colors. You know, I have a lot of blues and greens in my house and like soft pinks, but to some people, like they might hate that, you know, it's about what feels good to you. Whereas like in traditional Feng Shui, like the color orange means creativity and fertility. And like, there's some people that swear, like if you add more orange to your wardrobe, skin, walls, bed, like you get pregnant faster. I had a friend, she's trying to get pregnant, and orange reminds her of her ex who was abusive. So we're not doing the orange thing. We're trying some other stuff for her fertility. So it's just not abiding by even, you know, people like you that are really well known about this type of holistic stuff, just not sticking to the rules. It's really just about how it affects you and your brain and how you feel. And then pops of color is huge, especially if you're trying to change your relationship with a closet. Like how cool would it be instead of it just being white or whatever color it is that's like natural, like you just had like a pop of color. It could just make such a big difference, especially if you're running out the door and you're grabbing your rain jacket and you're like, oh, it's raining again, this sucks. You open your closet and you remember that your closet is like hot pink and you're like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Whether you realize it or at least your brain realizes it and is processing it that way. These are just some extra tips. If you are someone, you know, they love to like change the seasons of their decor. I always encourage them to have like one place in the home where all of the holiday stuff versus like Christmas goes here, spring goes here. Just have everything that needs to be changed in the seasons in one place. It's easier to make that transition, and you can make it more of a celebration versus like an entire long weekend project. Like it should only take you a couple hours, if that, to do that. Because I'm that way. And desk uncrowded, facing something, especially preferably a garden or trees. Most people are worried if they don't face a wall, they're going to get distracted. Take an inventory and tell me I'm wrong. Cause like, you're going to be on your phone and it's just going to make you feel not as good. For most people anyway. And for me, with my big window, all I see is green. I get to see cars. I get to see people. It's not distracting. It just makes me feel more connected because I work from home and I need that connection in order to function. One trick is moving furniture around until it feels right. And then again, just not abiding by like a social norm for typical interior decorating. Like this was made to be your kitchen nook for a breakfast table. If you want to make it a place where you just read books and put a bookshelf, like do that, like do what feels right to you. Like don't abide by the norms. And another thing that's really helpful, love and honor your appliances. These are things that you use all the time, and they're super cute. All of my appliances, I would show you if I could go to the other room, are this color. My microwave, my toaster, my coffee machine. Like, I love all of my appliances, and it would have just been something if you just weren't thinking, be like, oh, I'm just going to pick one out. Black, white, steel. Like, if you're into black, white, steel, go for it. But like, I love having aqua teal in my house. So I bought all that stuff. And so when I am working with clients, I definitely let them know, like, you do not have to use any of this stuff at all. It's just later when we're working on falling back in love with your home, it might be some helpful stuff. And I've said this like 30 times, so I'll say it again. Just want you to love and enjoy your home and everybody in it and feel closer to them. So this is like the start of the actual walking you through everything you would possibly need to get ready. People don't think about this. They think they just need trash bags and that's it. So this is the list of stuff that I always recommend. The most important, them being, they know exactly how they're getting rid of everything, and that's already been planned as far in advance as possible. The worst thing is you spend hours, days, weeks, months, depending on your schedule and your ability to do this. And there's a pile of stuff that you don't love and are starting to actually hate sitting in your garage because you keep forgetting to call the company to come get it. I really, really think that's a key thing to do, is to have that set up first. Please do not buy totes or bins or anything plastic. You're not going to need them. I'm sure there's plenty of them already in your home. We will use them when we need to for other stuff, but they're toxic. We're trying to set up a healthy environment. That's the last thing that you need. And this is a big one. Just remembering to breathe. Oh my gosh, I'm already at 20 minutes. Okay. It's so important, right? So I'm going to fast forward to some of the big stuff. So this is like literally, this is one of the big ones I think is important. The first thing you do is you wake up from your bed and you have a pen and paper with you, and you close your eyes and then open them immediately and then close them again based on what you see in your visual field, and write down your first 3 thoughts and feelings without thinking. And you do that throughout your entire house. That really helps people kind of get an understanding of what's happening without psychoanalyzing and without overthinking, because you have to open and close your eyes very quickly. This is like all the details. I just want to get to something. I know there's like big pieces toward the end that are important. This is important. Again, what feels good to you? Just because you have a desk, does that mean that has to be where your pens and paper go? No, put whatever you want there. My desk, I have my tarot cards, I got my stones, I got my matches, my selfie stick. That's all I got. That's all I have on my desk, and I love it. I only need one thing. And then more details on miscellaneous drawers. That's like something that's like really important to me. But yeah, I don't even know what side I'm on. I'm only on 62 of 71. So there's a lot more here. I can keep going, or I could answer questions, whatever you guys prefer. But I am posting this in the group, and you can share it with anybody you want. It's free information. I want people to use it.
I mean, if anyone has questions, they could pop in, but you're welcome to keep utilizing this time to present the rest of your slides, whatever you like, or we can raise our hands if we have to jump in and ask something.
Perfect. So I'll summarize to this point. So the walkthrough exercise is the most important. And then later having a really special divine time to look at this and start really seeing the common themes. I was working with someone and she had the word dirty everywhere. She had a brand new house, but to her it felt dirty because of the colors. And so instead of us diving into decluttering, I immediately was like, you have to hire a painter today. And you have to go to Home Depot today and pick out 5 colors that you're thinking of changing your house. This is a bigger issue than just the stuff in the house. And that's the first thing she's done, I think she's done a couple closets. I think she's only done clothes and books so far for categories. And she said she feels like a completely different person. And this is someone that like, at some point I wanted to invite into this group. She's a spiritual counselor and specializes in human design and Carolyn Mist. She's like amazing. And that's really what the key is decluttering by category, not room. And clothes is the first one. And then we gradually go down to the harder, more emotional stuff like pictures and family heirlooms and stuff. And again, not super over analyzing, just like, do you get a quick yes? Do you get a quick no? If you get a maybe, maybes have to stay in your field of vision for 6 months. And when you look at that side, it will tell you, go to your calendar right now. And 6 months from today, say, I need to reassess X, Y, Z. So if you have half of your closet is maybes and the other half are yeses and you don't want to get rid of anything, that's totally fine. But when you open your closet, all of your maybes are going to be all that you see and the yeses are going to be outside. Same with pots and pans, same with the things in your miscellaneous drawer. You're not going to not know where your passport is, right? You're not going to know where your favorite pair of rain boots are, right? Like you have to make sure that you're seeing the maybes so that slowly, if you can, with, you know, hopefully by 6 months, you would have started weeding some stuff out that you realize you really don't like. But at least after 6 months, you have to kind of reassess, like, do I really love and want this in my life anymore? That's a really big thing. And then just anything else related to interior design and the placement of things, like I'm always happy to help with that, but I give some extra tips in here. A lot of people worry about having big breaks and having piles of stuff everywhere. And it's like, again, just like reframing, right? Like, this is a pile of stuff that I'm going to go through because I care about myself and my home. And at some point I'm going to be able to finish this project. It's not doesn't have to be all or nothing. I work with a lot of people. We have appointments every other week, just to check in. And definitely self-care, self-improvement. If you're the mom and your partner and your kids like refuse to help, that's fine. Just continue doing what you can. And then when you're going through categories of their stuff, just put it in their space and just let them know, like, our family is now functioning XYZ in these communal spaces. You can do what you want with your room, but like at some point they're going to start realizing when they go in their room, they get really stressed, maybe even depressed after being in the other spaces for so long, when everything feels more calming and peaceful. I have a lot of extra resources related to parents through Love and Logic, which is part of Avon University that I work for. And then if it is a roommate situation, not a family situation, I definitely recommend roommate agreements once you do go through this to make it easier. Helping with therapy stuff related to grief. When you do get rid of something and you're sad and you're feeling guilty, it is a grieving process. But you're also doing a huge thing. You're releasing a trauma, just like you do all of these amazing out of the box therapies to release trauma in your cells that was your great grandmother's, that has nothing to do with you. It's the same thing. If you get this out of your house, like, you're healing your family. So that's one of my favorite things. And just continuing only buying things you absolutely love, never feeling you have to replace things. I haven't had a couch for a year. I haven't found the couch that I want. It hasn't happened yet, but I don't care. This is where you guys, if you know someone that's doing this and they come to this part, please let me know. It's very intense. Mary Kondo talks about in her book, a lot of people get pimples, a lot of people get diarrhea, like they're actually going through a detox process. And so there are a lot of vitamins and things that I can kind of help clients with that will be helpful to that. Because I am a functional medicine coach as well as a brain health coach, FYI. And then just letting people know, like, once you're close to done, like, celebrate, you know, like, have a big party, come see my beautiful, amazing house. And then these are things to Google later that are really helpful that I just wanted to share.
Thank you for spending some of your time today with us at Sage Holistic Health and Wellness Center. If you like what we're all about, please consider supporting our nonprofit organization by making a tax-deductible donation. To do this, you can go to our website at www.sagewellnessctr.org and click on Donate in the upper right-hand corner. We look forward to spending some time again with you real soon. Take good care.